Hello, this is Keith Stewart, the games editor of The Guardian, and I am joined today for this little playthrough of PlayStation 4 launch games by Keza McDonald. Hello, Keza.
Hello.
And can you explain what you do at IGN, which is where we are at the moment?
Indeed.
IGN are hosting us in their lovely, swish new offices.
I am UK games editor at IGN. So I'm very excited, obviously, for the PlayStation 4 to be coming out in our territory.
Yes.
This week, this Friday, when this goes live. I presume this is going live on Friday, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's have a look at Resogun, which is going to be available for free to people that sign up for the PlayStation Network. That's right, isn't it? For the PlayStation Plus.
For PlayStation Plus. It's also actually the top-rated launch game on either the Xbox One or the PS4 right now.
Which is ironic in the maximum, considering it's a reasonably retro-themed shooter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like Superstar. Also, it has speaking out of the controller, which I really love.
Yeah, probably hear that.
I really enjoy Super Stardust HD, which was the same developer, Housemarque, and that was a PlayStation 3 launch.
And they're a European developer, aren't they? They're from, and I think I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they come from the sort of demo scene or hardcore shooter scene.
They did back in the day.
Yeah, and they're massive fans of traditional 2D shooters.
So as you can see, this is very much a traditional shooter, but with an amazing HD sheen. And lots of particle effects.
And you can go both ways.
You can go both ways. The main trick in Resogun is to learn how to do boosting. I've been saving it.
Okay.
Keeper's detected. Keeper's detected. This is important. That's boosting.
Oh yeah.
So that you navigate around the level properly. Let's get these dudes. All right. So basically, you have to shoot everything and save the humans.
Oh, good. That's good. I like stories like that.
Yeah, it's got a very dystopian, as it were, backstory where basically all the humans are dead.
Okay.
That's it.
Nice one.
But as you can see, it gets quite complicated quite quickly. It's quite visually overwhelming in a good way.
So how does the multiply system work? Because that's an important part of the.
Yeah, you gotta hit things within a certain time limit, and then also you get a better multiplier to hit things while you're in overdrive like that.
Ah, okay. So when you're in overdrive, you can kind of shunt things.
That's right. Yeah, and you can also. So every level comes in 3 phases, and they're all like this. So 1, 2. Let's get these guys.
So to me, it reminds me a little bit of obviously Defender and the C64 version of that Drop Zone. It has that. Obviously, in both versions, you could go both ways. And it had a kind of similar look. Yeah,
it's a very, very pretty example of just basic what the PS4 can do, in my opinion.
But in 2D.
In 2D, yeah. This is the only game that I've ever played where I thought I wish this was in 3D. In terms of stereoscopic 3D.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that would be quite incredible.
Yeah, because Super Stardust looks amazing. Oh darn, Super Stardust looks amazing.
That was a pretty cool explosion.
Yeah. Bombs on. Here we go. Now it's time for the boss, and this is where they're really showing off them particle physics. So pretty.
Wow. This is kind of this generation's version of Wipeout, isn't it, in terms of its kind of fetishistic use of post-apocalyptic visuals.
Yes, and also the music.
Yes. So the end of level baddie is an enormous tyre.
Yes, pretty much, big tyre.
With a kind of super hexagon element as well, in trying to navigate through doorways.
Okay. Oh, getting bullet hells. Oh, right now.
Oh dear. So essentially, Housemarque have taken loads of great ideas from lots of amazing shooters and put them into a really beautiful launch game.
Yeah, it's a great launch game. It's exactly the kind of thing you want to play the second you get your PS4 home.
Yeah.
If you're me, you just want to play something really pretty, and that just impresses you immediately on an aesthetic level. And I've just started to.
Oh. Never mind. So we've had a look at Resogun, and now we're going to have a look at FIFA 14, which is going to be a big game, I think, on both the next-gen consoles this Christmas.
Indeed. Yes, this is one of the current-gen big hitters that's also out on PS4 and Xbox One.
And
it does look a lot better, though, and not only does it look better, there have been significant improvements to the engine. So it's cleverer, right? It's got better AI.
Yeah, it's got. Well, they claim that they've been able to use the extra capacity to improve the AI and improve the physics. But you can see there, obviously, there's massive improvements to the stadium as well, and real 3D spectators, I think, for the first time.
Rather than those weird cardboard cutout type spectators.
Yeah, those weird blurry cardboard cutouts. So anyway, I'm playing as Manchester City, which is my team, and I've chosen. We're playing at home at the City of Manchester Stadium.
Now, it's difficult with FIFA because FIFA, let's be honest, always looks like football.
Yes.
But does this represent a significant visual improvement, do you think?
Well, I mean, it does actually look really, really nice. And the movement of the players feels a lot smoother as well. I completely messed that one up. But what they've said about this game is that you have much better degree of movement, like it's not an 8 degree of movement of the players now, so you have a real kind of 360 degree move, and that's really showing up with players like Aguero, who can really run with the ball. Just tried to chip the goalkeeper there, not unsuccessfully.
It was a valiant effort.
Then, basically there's a lot more movement, a lot more fluidity to the movement this time round, and it's also much more physical as well. There's more physicality between the players.
It's interesting as well. I think a lot of people who are buying next-gen consoles are not necessarily going to be buying them for the new games. They're going to be buying them to play the games that they already know, but better looking.
Yeah.
So
big mistake there by the keeper. I think I'm hopefully going to be able to. Can I?
Go on, bring it home.
I wanted you to go for that. I pressed the wrong button.
But there are people who will be buying the PS4 just for FIFA or for COD.
Yeah.
Which they're out in the current-gen consoles, but you want the better-looking version. It looks like it's running at 60 FPS as well.
And you can see, obviously, the crowds are really quite detailed there. Yeah. Lots of different people, lots of people doing different things.
As opposed to just sitting or doing that one weird wave. That they all have done since FIFA 95.
He's done that same thing again.
So content-wise, FIFA 14 on PS4 is much the same, right, as it is on current gen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were talking about exclusivity a minute ago, and one thing that the Xbox One version has got that the PS4 version doesn't is the Legends on the Ultimate Team mode, which adds a whole bunch of legendary, 40 legendary. This is going to be amazing if I manage to pull it off. Oops.
Oh, so nearly.
Never mind. I think I'm still. The problem is I spent a lot of my early football simulation career playing PES and the shoot buttons on it.
PES really not a factor at the moment, is it, in the football game world?
No, absolutely not. Especially, obviously, not in the next generation. What a wonderful. But you can. I mean, what we are trying to show you here isn't that I am the worst FIFA player in the world, but just that the animation apparently has 10 times the animation depth of the current gen versions.
It seems like every year they struggle to find a new thing to do with FIFA. Like it was all about defending last year, wasn't it?
Yes. I think this year it's about physicality and intelligence. So your AI teammates are much more likely to be able to read what you're planning and what you're doing and get themselves into space.
It does look quite disturbingly like real football at this point, doesn't it?
Well, when I was at Gamescom and I was sort of hanging around at the EA stand and they had big screens showing this game, and there were moments, and I've said it's a bit like Forza in a way, there are moments of photorealism where you are sort of conned into thinking, not conned, that's not the right word,
but deluded?
Yeah, deluded. You are deluded into thinking it's real life.
There's even the way that the players actually make contact.
Yeah.
It just looks a lot better and more natural now.
Well, exactly. And you saw there the player trip over. That is part of this sort of whole idea of increasing the physicality of the game. I was going to try and get the ball back so I can show you the close dribbling. Whoops. Oh, that's good. No one was there to get that. One of the big things is that they've changed the dribbling, so you could, if you press the L1, you've got lots better. You've got really close control there. If you hit F1, keep it pressed down. Sorry, L1, press down, and no one can get the ball off you. So that's quite nice. You can just fiddle around, be a bit Messi-esque if you like.
I'm seeing of the current titles that are the big titles of autumn, so Battlefield, COD, and FIFA.
Yeah.
I reckon FIFA's the biggest.
Stayed on side. Yes.
I reckon FIFA's the biggest draw on next gen because it's got. I mean, it might not be an upgrade to the roster or an upgrade to the core gameplay, but it does have significant improvements rather than just being prettier, right?
Exactly. Yeah. They do. What Dave Rutter, the producer, has said is they've added a significant layer of AI, of extra AI intelligence into the game. So everything's going to be smarter. Allegedly, this is my first go on this version of the game, and there does seem to be better, more interesting movement from the players. I'm just going to ignore them and do my own thing.
So this is Knack, one of the launch exclusives for PS4. It is, in fact, Mark Kearney's game, the chappie who actually built the PS4.
The system architect of the PlayStation 4, who is a veteran game designer. He was at Sega and worked on Sonic 2, and then he moved. He was at Sega for a long time. And then he moved on to, I think he was at Naughty Dog, wasn't he?
He did Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, and Spyro as well.
Yeah. So he's a veteran of the cutesy platformer, of which Knack is definitely one. Honestly, this is not a particularly exciting exclusive for PS4. It's a real shame.
What's the point of it? You are some kind of.
You're this dude, Knack, and you collect bits, and you get bigger.
Right.
But it's a very simplistic kind of cutesy platformer that doesn't really go anywhere, which is a bit sad. I mean, it's nice, and it's got nice ideas, and as you can see, it looks quite pretty. But I would rather have had a new Ratchet and Clank or a Jak and Daxter or something like that.
Which I think, wasn't Mark Cerny involved with?
He was, and the new Ratchet and Clank on PS3 is actually considerably better than Knack. And
because to me, it really does resemble those PS2, not in terms of visuals, of course, because the visuals look lovely, but in gameplay-wise, this looks very similar to the early Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter.
It's very simple. I mean, basically, it's jump and smash things and dodge around. That's basically it. It's really very, very easy to play. I mean, the one advantage that Knack has is that it's quite colourful and nice for, it's accessible.
Yeah, I mean,
the story's quite sweet.
Isn't it that goblins have invaded the Earth or something like that?
Yeah.
Goblins have invaded, and only Knack, the metamorphosizing cyborg thing, can save humanity.
It's interesting. This reminds me of Cameo Elements of Power, the Xbox 360 launch game.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which was just also not very good. Not terrible, just not particularly good.
Why do we always have to default to caverns? There's always got to be caverns.
It has no nice fields or anything.
Are there any crate sliding puzzles by any chance?
Quite possibly. I haven't played enough of Knack to know exactly how many crate sliding puzzles it contains.
I suppose it's got a few.
Well, you've got pretty sliding rocks. Didn't have them on the PS3.
No.
So, why do you think that this is one of the launch titles? Like, what do you think's behind this as a launch title? Because I think that basically they couldn't say no to the guy who made the PS4.
Do you think that's it? Do you think he said, I want to make a game? Did they draft him on to make the game first, or was he making the system and he said, I want to make...
I think he was making the system way back in 2008.
Yeah, that's true. But I think he did... Some of the design was in parallel, wasn't it? Because he said it gave him an insight into how to ensure that ensure that the architecture was friendly. Because Mark Cerny is obviously very much behind this idea of PlayStation 4 being developer-friendly hardware. Is this some kind of end of level?
This is a little boss interlude, I believe.
A little mini boss thing.
Smash. Always just press the one button to smash things. There you go. Oh no! Actually,
are there a variety of special combinations?
No.
Really?
Not that I've found yet. There you go. Dispatched. Bye guys. Let's smash some of this now. So yeah, Knack, not particularly interesting, let's be honest.
So this is Killzone Shadowfall, the latest in the Killzone series of first-person shooters.
So being a futuristic shooter, it's all about future weapons for me, Killzone.
Yeah. They do have, all Killzone weapons always have this really nice feel to them. They always feel kind of chunky and... Oh!
Robot.
I'm just going to throw a grenade at him. There we go.
This is a genuinely good-looking...
Oh, he's on my side.
This is a genuinely good-looking launch game, Killzone. I think it's probably the best looking.
It's got some amazing lighting effects.
Multiplayer. Have you played much of Killzone? Do you know how good it is?
There. Ooh. Oh no, I've not played that much at all.
Well, it's difficult to play when, of course, there's no one online because the game hasn't been released.
Yeah, that is slight. Yeah.
So this is some multiplayer. Obviously, we're offline right now because the game's not out yet. So this is bots we're using to test out exactly how radical Killzone looks in multiplayer, which I think we can safely say is pretty radical.
It does look beautiful. And yeah, this is sort of bot version, so you can sort of try out your multiplayer tactics without having to humiliate yourself in front of 12-year-old Americans.
Indeed,
which is what I do.
that is basically what multiplayer has become in the last generation of consoles. Ritual humiliation in front of American pubescents.
And again, you can sort of see how beautiful the game looks. This is the park multiplayer map.
Yeah, I mean it's gorgeous. I think I think Killzone is the best example of just straight up next gen shooter looks
does look good.
that we've got. Look at that, nice variety in this map as well. Yet to find any bots though, which is a bit of an issue.
Maybe they're just hiding. They've heard your.
They've heard me. They've heard how good I am.
Your
yeah, they're frightened. Next gen ladders. Oh, hello.
Aren't they your friends? No, they're not. Well done. This is why I don't last.
Well, now you
much.
Confused me in the middle of my shooting. I was having such a nice time shooting.
That was all my fault.
Clearly. So, have you played much multiplayer? I haven't played much multiplayer.
I've played a lot, obviously, on Killzone 3, and it's okay. It just has that sort of vanilla feel to it, in that it's a perfectly functionary, workman-like interpretation of what first-person FPS experience should be.
It's weird. I've
like.
never actually felt like Killzone's managed to win the hearts of PlayStation gamers in the same way as many of the other iconic franchises.
No, absolutely not. And it's obviously one of two of Sony's attempts to build their own massive FPS franchise. The other one obviously being Resistance: Fall of Man, which was, I think, a much more interesting game.
I think it was more successful. I mean, it had an interesting premise, Resistance.
Yeah.
We're just admiring the outside right now, in the absence of bots to shoot at.
I think Killzone has always had this kind of steely.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Couldn't even see that. Never mind.
It's always had this kind of steely aloofness, I think, that some people find attractive. It feels almost documentary style at points, but
Really?
yeah, in terms of like.